Hello, grumpy old man. There we go. See how this lighting goes. Gets light, gets dark. Depends on whatever. Outside, you can hear the roosters crowing. My favorite, the roosters. And coming up with a chat topic, King James did this past week. The perfect film. Of course, again, he likes to trash my film, Casablanca, which is my favorite film of all time. It's a lot of top lists of films. He thinks it's overrated. He didn't see anything with that film that he likes. I know he's entitled to his opinion. I don't like any of the films. I don't say I don't like any of the films, but there's some films that he watches that I don't think are classics or the greatest films ever made. So, I mean, we all each have our own opinion of it. He probably thinks The Room is like the most perfect movie and should have won an Academy Award or something. Who knows? He thinks Emma Stone's probably the best actress in the world. We all have our own different tastes. Jay, Bob, Mike, Ian, we all have our different tastes in films. And what we think is considered the perfect film. I think Casablanca is the perfect film for me. It might not be a perfect film for James. He don't get it. I do. He's not into that stuff. He's not into film noirish type films. That Casablanca is not a film noir, but has elements of it, some touches of it. But he's not a Bogart fan either, so he doesn't see it. Some people think The Wizard of Oz or Mary Poppins are perfect films, and they are great films. I think The Wizard of Oz is a perfect film for family. I think it's a great family film. It's timeless. It's shown every year, and it has so many memorable lines in it. Just like Casablanca has so many memorable lines and characters in the film. So, it's just all depends on your taste and what you like. Some people like Mike would think Beach Blanket Bingo is the perfect film, and it could be the perfect film for him. He enjoys it. I think any film that you go to and you get some kind of enjoyment out of it, you feel satisfied watching it, is the perfect film. You get your money's worth. You rent it or you go to the movie theater and you get your satisfaction out of watching that film, then it's the perfect film for you. The perfectly made film? Well, that's hard to say. I don't think any film is perfectly made. I mean, there's some darn close ones. Citizen Kane, the reason why it is a classic film is because of this was Orson Welles' first film, and he didn't know how to direct. He had to ask questions. He said, well, why do we have to do it this way? Why can't we shoot up from the floor and see the ceiling? You never seen those in films back then. Those were groundbreaking. That's why that film is classic, because of the cinematography. Same thing with, but is it the perfect film? To some, it is. It's the perfect film. It's a classic film. Some people just fall in line with it because they say, well, they always heard it all their life. Citizen Kane is a perfect film. It is long and it's tedious at times, but it might be a perfect film for somebody. Another film like that is D.W. Griffith's Birth of a Nation, which is a very controversial film from 1915. Very racially bad film showing African Americans in bad light, showing them as stupid, um, ignorant, drinking, womenizing. Um, not the perfect film at all. Considered a classic. The only reason why it's considered a classic is because of the filmmaking of the film. It was a landmark in filmmaking. It was 3 hours long. It was one of the first full-length films made at that time, and the cinematography in it was in filmmaking. The making of the film was groundbreaking at the time. Controversial. It is. It's very controversial. Not the perfect film. So, I think anything that you get satisfaction from, personally, enjoying a film, like I seen Commando by Arnold Schwarzenegger, which is a classic action movie from the 80s. Is it the perfect film? No, it's not the perfectly made film. It's not that well acted by Ray Don Chong, but most people find it their perfect film. At least Ian does, and maybe Jay, because they're satisfied with what they when they finish watching it, they feel satisfied. They feel good about the film. They're happy about it. So that's 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 like I said. It's each one's perspective, and then you can go on and ramble on about, well, there's other films that they always mention classic films, like we just did, talked about The Great Escape. I think that's a perfect film. It's a perfect film for me to watch. Saving Private Ryan, perfect film. 1917, the more recent film, 1917, I think is a perfect film. Dunkirk, perfect film. I enjoy them. I get satisfaction out of watching them. I watched a movie last night called The Way Back with Ben Affleck. I don't know how many of these movies are. There was a Way Back from the early 2010s, and then the way back also. And now this Way Back here. I was satisfied with this film. I thought it was a perfect film for me to watch. I'll watch it again. I think it was very good. It was well acted. Ben Affleck did a great job with it. Great story. Typical story, but about basketball and sports. But it was a good story, nonetheless. Well done, well acted, and well photographed. So yeah, Indiana Jones, and just a few of my favorites. And the perfect film is always going to be the ones that you're usually going to be your favorite ones. Lawrence of Arabia, Indiana Jones, well, Raiders of the Lost Ark, the first Star Wars, The New Hope, as they call The New Hope, Episode 4, I think is a perfect film. I left satisfied seeing it in 1977. Jaws is a perfect film, even though it scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. But it's a perfect film. I'll watch it again. Close Encounters, The Third Kind, perfect film. Yeah, those are my thoughts on it. Anybody have thoughts, comments? What do you think is your perfect film? Let us know. Thank you for watching. You have a great day. And take care of yourselves. Bye.